For those of you who are just joining, this is the pre-show. We get to know a little bit about our host, Caleb, Leland, and Hiran. There is a poll question up on the board. Think about your work. What daily tasks do you hope could be improved by AI? If you have a favorite generative AI tool, I gave you a prompt that you can throw up in there. The more information you put in about your job role or title, the more detailed information it will give. I work a lot in documentation, training, and process improvement. So I put this prompt, which is also in your course resources, into ChatGPT, and it told me the potential for AI to support my work is in email management, content creation, data analysis, and project tracking. I would say this is pretty spot on because those are the areas that I use AI the most, whether it be Atlassian Intelligence or just general AI. We'll talk specifically about using the Atlassian Intelligence tools, but they're similar products in just about everyone. Atlassian Intelligence is a little unique in that it's within a service management ticketing system, but you can find equivalents. So make sure that you're drawing those similarities across the board so you can really get the best out of this course. These are our course materials. Pull them up ahead of time as the prompt is here in case you lose it. And everything we talk about is in this packet, including if you want a copy of the PowerPoint, it is here. All kinds of fun stuff. Can a machine ever truly understand and replicate the human intelligence? This question was first asked by Alan Turing in 1950. So it's been a while and it continues to challenge us today. We call it the Turing test. But the question of this session is how can we use AI to not just mimic human interaction, but to generally enhance our collaborative efforts? And we're focusing a little bit on productivity today. My name is Dr. Valeriana Colon, and this is Get Started with Atlassian Intelligence.
Welcome to Atlassian Live Learning, where courses meets community. More than individuals in a virtual meeting, we're a thriving community of practice. Whether you're a seasoned expert or a curious newcomer, we invite you to share your thoughts and experiences as we navigate today's topic. If you have a question, ask it in the chat. If you know an answer, please share it. This approach moves newer users towards the inner circle, guided by those with more experience. Let's embrace the opportunity to harness our collective knowledge, connect, and most importantly, have fun. Because learning together is a journey of endless possibilities. For information on where to view a recording of this session or download a copy of the presentation, please see the course resources.
Imagine you're working on a complex project, juggling multiple tasks and communications. We're project managers here, business analysts, product admins, wherever you work at, whatever your job role is, we're typically juggling multiple tasks. Suddenly you receive a perfectly crafted suggestion that streamlines your workflow. It's almost as if AI, the system, knew exactly what you needed when you needed it. So just like MIT and many other organizations currently are working on the challenge of could AI problem solve? They're not there yet, but that's what they're working on. AI pushes the boundaries of what we can do with our collaborative tools. Now, Atlassian Intelligence uses large language models, that's what it's called, to analyze your team's interactions and construct a custom graph to show you the type of work being done and the relationships between them. These models generate probabilistic responses based on your activity. Responses are generated by predicting the most probable next step or the next word based on the available data. So large language models have existed for 75 years. So what's all the hype about? Well, now they have gained a lot of attention under the AI umbrella because large language models, or LLMs, have moved from a back-end process to a front-end tool that users can leverage. And we're going to show you Atlassian Intelligence, but these large language models are in everything that everyone is labeling AI these days. So I understand security is everyone's top concerns. Through a collaboration with OpenAI, Atlassian Intelligence is built on an internal model, and I'm going to show you that in the next screen. With robust security protocols, your data stays within your system, respecting your permissions. Your admins have control to manage how AI is accessed across your organization. If you have any specific security related questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm going to check the chat here in a bit. You can also visit Atlassian-intelligence. The question that I get the most on this particular screen, is it ISO compliant? They're working on it, it's pending. So what is an internal model and what does it look like? So let's take RAG architecture as an example. This is just an example. I don't know the inside of how Atlassian has built this, but this is a very common model. So first you prompt this system by asking it a question. So this is you, check out you. An agent, or some people like calling this a bot, goes to and looks at your knowledge base. For Atlassian tools, your knowledge base is Confluence. So it searches through like you would look for a book in a library. It finds the pieces of information that are most relevant to your question and grabs it. Next, it moves through to the large language model that is pre-trained. This LLM doesn't really change once it's in place. The agent fine tunes those responses. So once it's trained and set in your system, it's not pulling your information and retraining that model. The agents are fine tuning the responses from that model. And then during upgrades, that's when the LLM then gets additional information. That's when you see ChatGPT has version 3 to version 4. That's they're upgrading their pre-trained model. An agent sorts through the information and retrieves and picks out the most important parts. This is like highlighting the sentences in a book to make sure that the best, most relevant information is kept. And then finally, the agent pulls all of the information from the various systems together to create a clear and accurate response to your question. All the information stays within this closed model. It doesn't go out into the internet unless you have it set up that way. And it all sits behind your SSO, your secure single sign on. So people with only specific permissions can use your system. All right, now our agenda. Are we 5 minutes in? Ooh, we're 6 minutes. I'm behind. Throughout today's session, we'll explore the capabilities of Atlassian Intelligence, focusing on automation and generative AI in Confluence, Jira, and Jira Service Management. We'll delve into how these features can transform efficiency and use cases, as well as best practices, all while building community. Like, we hope you guys interact and talk to each other. With 3 agenda items down, we're going to move into the demos. I invite you to view our course resources. That link is in the chat for step-by-step instructions and the ability to personalize your demo experience by zooming in, pausing, and rewinding. Although our demo masters are going to do this live. No pressure, no pressure. While you're in the resources, make a copy of the hands-on worksheets and the whiteboard for independent practice. All right, are you ready? I'm the first one up to show you the different navigation tools. Now, if you don't have these tools, there are free versions of each of these that we're going to go to. So I recommend you sign up for the free version. It's not going to even ask you for a credit card. These are team collaborative tools, so they only really ask you to pay when you're trying to either take up a lot of data storage or you're trying to connect with other teammates. To start, as you navigate through the Atlassian apps, look for the lightning bolt icon indicating automation, or the sparkler icon. This is what I just call them. I nickname them these to let you know when AI and automation are available. These features are going to continue to evolve, so you can expect to see them pop up in different places. The goal for all the AI features in Atlassian is that the behavior works the same across the app. So automations work the same in Confluence, Jira, and JSM, and any other tool that you're working with within the ecosystem. The behaviors are the same, but they're working within that tool. Gen AI navigation appears in 3 main ways. One, it's an icon in a static toolbar. Two, it's a floating toolbar that appears when you hover over highlighted text. And then the third one is a shortcut on your keyboard. It's the slash key. For full AI options, remember you often have to click the pencil in Confluence. You have to click the pencil icon to enable the edit mode. Next, we'll introduce some AI features in Confluence from Hiram Patel, breaking it down for us. And then you'll see me give you a little bit on AI prompting, which you could use in any AI, generative AI. And then we'll flip it over to Leland for Jira, and then Caleb for JSM. And then we'll have our breakout rooms. And ready, set. Are you ready, Hiran?
I am.
It's over to you.
So first thing we'll do is we'll search for any of your meeting notes or any kind of notes that you have on Confluence. So in this case, I'll just search by just typing getting started. And then it'll populate the high-level results, but you can also ask AI to more broad questions, and it will find the articles or any meeting notes you're looking for. So in this case, I will be working with this particular getting started with Atlassian. So I'll click on it. Here is my meeting notes that I've created. It's based on product owners and BA doing discussion about a vision of e-commerce, right? From here, let's just say that I have my meeting notes here. It's not, pretty to send it out. I can ask the AI, or in this case, I'll click on summarize option here. What this will do is it will parse through all the information on this page, and it will create a summary of the meeting notes. And as you can see here, it reviewed all the details here and provided a nice little summary, which you can email by copying it here. And before you copy, good practice is to review the summary to make sure it is what it's intended to be. And if you think it's not a good summary or it's a bit of a bad data, then you can click a bad response. When you do click on it, this is more of a learning tool for Atlassian. So provide a feedback, which they'll use to incorporate what went wrong with this particular summary, and then it'll try to help. It's only if you want to, you don't have to do it. Hit cancel. Next, if you think it's a good response, click on the thumbs up. Again, it's just more of a learning practice for the AI to see how well they're doing. The other options that you also saw in the previous screen is, you may also click on edit. And echoing what Valerie said, you can highlight it here, and then there's a little right icon here. You can click on it, which will give you other options that you saw on the previous screen. You can change, you can click on improve writing, which will review it, and then it'll try to make it look pretty, more professional tones, things like that. And if you're satisfied with it, you can replace or ask the AI to make it better or add more details as you wish. Awesome. So in this case, I'll just exit out of it. I'll go more on this on a demo and then see what else we can do with it. Discard. Okay. And the other thing is a search term right here. So as you can see here, I did do a search here, but if you wanted to be more broader, let's just say that you do not know a particular knowledge base that you're looking for, you can ask a question. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll copy paste this particular question, and all of this is based on the knowledge base or any articles within your Confluence base. So it needs some kind of a reference point to review the data and then spit out the result. So when I click enter here and ask AI, it will search your Confluence space, and then it will, if it finds a reference, and it'll output the result. As you can see here, it provided a nice summary here, and then the source of it was on this particular document. And you can also click on it to get more details. Yep, there you go, right here. And then it basically what it does, it goes through all your space references and then tries to find the results based on your question. So this is the knowledge article, and then what AI did was basically parse through all the information to give you this particular response. Let's hit that. Okay, so you have to exit out of the edit mode to see the automation. So once I click this lighten, or you may click on keyboard shortcut, which is A. Since this page doesn't have any, we'll create one. Okay. So this acts as a if then if else statement. If you're familiar with it, what it'll do, it'll ask you what is it that you want to do, what are the triggers, and any specific condition that you may want to add. Let's skip the tour for now. Okay, what is it that I want to do? I say, let's say I want to be notified whenever someone makes an edit. So I'll click add. If there are some of them are predefined, so you can just click edit here in this case, page edit, and then add an action. All right. So in this case, if a page is edited, since I'm tracking of this knowledge base article, I want to be notified. So I'll just say email, and then to who. So in this case, you can type user group if you're a particular user group, or if they want to be a specific person, you can type your name.
All right, while you
Okay.
sort that out, we'll go over the poll answers here. In our poll question, asked you to match the challenges with the solutions. So if you're struggling to keep a documentation up to date, you can use the Gen AI content creation feature, yes. And for difficulty finding relevant information quickly, use AI search. And if you're trying to define a word like the SAFE acronym, there's a define feature within the platform that you can go ahead and use. So when it comes to prompt engineering, that is how you command an AI to perform a specific task. Think about prompting AI like ordering at a restaurant. The clearer, more specific you are, the less likely you're going to get a surprise dish. You wouldn't just walk into a restaurant and say, I want food, and expect to be satisfied. Atlassian Intelligence has a lot of predefined prompts, meaning you don't have to write anything. You just have to click on the button, like brainstorm and find action items. But this is a structured approach to prompt any generative AI to get the best responses. So task, context, example, persona, format, and tone. You don't always need all six, but when you do, it makes for happy AI training. I put this all in the course resources so you don't need to like take notes. Tasks clearly defines the actions you want the AI to perform. Use specific direct action verbs like create, summarize, suggest. Context provides the necessary background information relevant to the task. This helps the AI understand the scope or specifics that you want or need. If possible, include an example of a past outcome, and this can get the AI to use that as a template. Persona can be used in two different ways. You can ask the AI to pretend they're a certain person, or you can ask them to write on behalf of a specific person. And this ensures that the response aligns with the user's need. Describe the format that you want the output to be. So it could be a structure like a table, list, code, stories, reports, and then indicate the desired tone. So do I want to be educative, or do I want to be serious or professional or fun? Do you want to make a joke? There are so many options that you can use on tone. So if you want to take a look at an activity, check out our course whiteboard. Check them out. There's lots of different activities that you can do in our whiteboard to help you understand prompt engineering. But let's talk about hallucinations for a second. So AI can hallucinate. What does that mean? That means their responses can be a bunch of junk. And that happens when your large language model is not trained on enough data. So if you're using it within Confluence, and there's no information within your Confluence knowledge base, or your Confluence knowledge base is full of a bunch of data, dirty data, then the response is going to be a little off. So you do need to review your responses. Trained on a noisy or dirty data. I just mentioned that. Not enough context. So if you asked what is the meaning of life, like there's not really context to pull a good answer out for it. So it's going to spit out the best information it possibly can. And then not enough restraints. So you're not defining the scope narrowly enough for it to respond. So you want to adjust and play with it so it's like not broad, but not too narrow. You want to like Goldilocks this one, get it right in the middle. So I'm going to turn it over to Leland, who's going to talk to you about the AI tools in Jira.
We can see here, this is my Jira opening a work area, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple things. First off, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a search to find some issues. We can of course use the search bar, which is right up here, but as we mentioned before, gotta love some keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to go ahead and do a shortcut. And already you can see all of the areas that have been recently viewed and recently viewed boards. So I can type in, let's say, bugs, and you can start being able to narrow things down. But there's another way that we can navigate through some of our Jira issues and some of those work items that we might need. Let's go ahead and go up to filters, and let's go to view all issues. So now we see all of the issues closed or open. Doesn't matter within this particular organization. Right now, it's within the scope of the last 30 days. Let's go ahead and use Ask AI, which is our little starburst over here. See if we can narrow this down. So let's go ahead and a real basic one. Let's show me all issues assigned to me. And it pops up. One of the cool things about the AI tools within Atlassian, specifically in Jira, is that it's based off of the JQ language, or essentially it's using natural language processing to turn it into search terms. So show me, which would be the assignee current user, all of the issues assigned. So we have show all of the issues assigned to me. Issues is a special keyword. We can also look at something like show me all issues related to email service. And that narrows it down even more. So not just all, but you can actually narrow it down to specifically the email service keyword of any of the issues that you might have. And let's go ahead and save that filter. We'll give it a name. Let's call this email service. Finding issues related to the email service project. And then we'll go ahead and define the scope. For now, I'm going to keep it to me, but you can also open it up to your organization, any particular groups, or any particular project folders that you want to assign. Again, you can make sure that everything falls within those swim lanes. So especially for you project managers, when it's in Jira, you'll be able to share these and really make sure that these workflows eliminate a lot of the pain points that will show up in projects like this. So for now, we'll stick to me, and we'll save that filter. Now that we've actually tagged it, let's go ahead and hop in to the issue itself. So we can see within our issues, we have a bunch of child issues, we have a description. So one of the things that we might want to do is summarize everything. Now, in this case, there aren't any comments, so let's do a couple comments so we can show off another feature. Let's say that needs a scope validation contact at and at. So we can tag folks within there. We'll go ahead and save that. And now that we start having comments, we can see this summarize. So once you click AI Summarize, again, hit that little starburst icon. What it's going to do is it'll work through the comments as well as the description of the project to give you a summary of some key takeaways within. So you can especially see how this could scale with larger projects with more stakeholders. You'll be able to quickly go through these comments. One of the great parts about this is that it's also only visible to you. So what you can do is you can look at this and say, okay, we need to look at a particular takeaway. We need to assign particular tasks to people. It won't necessarily send a large email blast out from this page. You'll just be able to find something quickly for yourself and then start assigning from there. Now, that already brought up actions, and he then did as well. So let's go ahead and see what some of these automations can do for within Jira. So let's go ahead and click actions there, which is a shorthand for automations. And we can go ahead and either create an automation or manage the automations. Let's go ahead and create automations. And now that we're in this page, obviously you get to the condition rules. You can go in there. But if we return to rules, clicked OK. You know, Jira has been doing this for a minute. So we have automations already here. So we can look through the templates to see certain rules that might already apply out of the box. We can scroll down and see what types of tasks that we want to organize, how we want to interact with the ticketing system. And of course, we can go in and start creating rules with the power of AI. Now, thinking back to our prompt engineering section a little earlier, let's think of something direct within the scope. So make sure, send an email to me for all issues relating to email. To the email project. And now what we'll do is go ahead, just press return or enter on your keyboard, and Atlassian Intelligence will do its thing. So we have this rule always letting us know how to improve the rules. That's one of the main portions when it comes to AI and part of this Atlassian Intelligence. We want to make sure we interact with some of these prompts in order to make them better. Like we said, it's generative. So we need to give it content to be able to rate how those algorithms are doing and what needs to change. So we'll go ahead and say that our experience has been good. I don't know about you, but it's been great for me so far. Let's go ahead and go into our rule details, and we'll name this send email. This sends it to everyone out. And the scope is within the Connect-centric demo team. This is me and all of the admins. All right. So once we go through and we see for our rule, making sure that everything looks good, we can either add another component, add to a branch. You can create. The complexity really depends on what you need. Again, we're looking at things that are within the scope. So you don't want to make a million different rules for one project if it doesn't actually need to be there. But what you can do is really customize what types of rules. So if you know which devs would be most likely to handle an issue, if it's backend, you can send it to some of your SQL folks, or if you need to send something to a QA team, you can start adding those branches and adding those complex components to make everything work out a little more. So we can turn on that rule, and we'll go ahead and update. In terms of best practices, it's always a good idea to go through and make sure you test the automations and test your logic flow. I'm a big fan of additional eyes, having other folks on your team go through and review just in case. So if you want to run a test case, this is a perfect area too. You can create a testing template, and you can be able to really customize the experience and your AI experience within Atlassian Intelligence. And that's about all I have for here, saving a few things for our breakout session in a bit. So I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. And so I had the poll up. Thank you for those who have answered. The answer is automation. So anytime you have anything, look through your daily tasks, anything that is repetitive, you do the same thing. You send the same email. Every time you close a sprint, you have these actions that you want to do on your admin side. You can set up your automations that way. It's not just sending emails. It's all sorts of things, actions that you can perform with your automations. Now we're going to switch it over to Caleb for Jira Service Management.
So for this segment, we're going to go over Jira Service Management. We're going to talk about some of the features that are available currently, talk a little bit about some of the in beta features that we can expect to see at some point down in the future. And then we're going to go a little bit into our best practices. But first, we're going to hear from Sharif Mansour from the Atlassian team. He has a pre-recorded segment for us around Jira Service Management. So we're going to delve into that, and then we'll talk a little bit about the video.
What's up, Atlassian community? Hey, it's Sharif here, head of AI for Atlassian. Excited to be here with you for another month, giving you an update of all the stuff that's happening across the many awesome teams I am lucky to work with in Atlassian in the world of AI. First up, the Jira Service Management IT Ops team has done an awesome job making use of AI to help you group alerts a lot faster. If you've ever received an incident and you work in IT Ops, or know teams that do, they get a lot of notifications. And now in JSM, as they use Jira Service Management at the top, they'll just quickly get the groupings of all the alerts compressed in a way that they can understand, and it'll show you how much it's grouped together and how much noise it's reduced for you. Next up, as you're working on an incident, the next thing you need to do is write a post-incident report once you've resolved it, and write what you learned about it and all that kind of stuff. With JSM now, you can automatically create PIR summaries straight from the Jira issue, which makes it a whole lot easier to capture all that knowledge and conversation from that issue. You can sign up to the IT Ops waitlist if you want to learn more about more of the new features that are coming down in the IT Ops space. For those of you who haven't played with Loom, Loom is an awesome communication tool that helps me personally actually reduce a boatload of meetings with my teams. I often record rooms and send it to them, and quite often my kids run through that door when I'm unexpected. And live rewind, you can quickly roll back and cut the bits where the dog's barking in this example as you're going. It's available in our Chrome extension, so check that out. Next thing available in Room is being able to edit your video by transcript. I don't know about you, but I'm sure as when I look at this video, I'll probably have a few ums and ers and I need to record that again. It makes it really easy to quickly trim those things up. As you can see, you'll see the transcript, delete the words you don't want, and save them with the power of AI. And yes, I do feel like AI, when it comes to video, it does feel more magical. By the way, I promise this is the real me and not an AI me. I'll tell you when it's the AI me one day, but this is the real me. We announced a new product called Rovo, which is an add-on to your cloud products for Jira and Confluence and so forth. And we couldn't wait with all of you to play with it and before the formal Rovo beta program starts. And so if you have Jira and Confluence Premium, we've included that little gift for you as well. Some of you are already using this today with definitions in Confluence, where you might see what we like to call internally the rainbow underline. When you're working in context of your work and you don't understand something, these definitions in Rovo help you learn in context. So in this specific example here, there's some system inside my company called TCS. I don't know what TCS is, and I'm picked up this task and I have to do this work. What is TCS about? And it uses my company's connected knowledge base in Confluence to understand that. And so that's also available in beta as well, in Jira, as well as Confluence. You can learn more by checking out the Rovo website, rovo.com. Check it out. Lastly, we're always about products and practices. We know behavioral change is hard, and especially when it comes to AI. It's like a customer the other day described it to me as, I've got a calculator on my desk and I keep forgetting to use it. And a lot of that's just all of us going on this journey, learning how to use AI and reminding ourselves of the behavioral change we could do, take the AI approach or take a manual approach or whatever it is. And so to help you that, we'll continue to share practices like we did last month. We shared the Atlassian University courses. This month, we have Julian and Ethan, two of our product managers at Atlassian. Ethan, who heads up some of our AI in the editor, has got a blog. You can learn more about tips and tricks about using the Atlassian editor, which is in Jira and Confluence and Bitbucket and Trello, to help you generate content faster. Many of you use that to create content. And Julian has a piece that's pretty deep and thinks about how, if any of you out there are in product teams building software and using any software, how you can think about using prompts to kind of prototype your features before actually building them. How prompts are actually, there's a lot of innovation in prompts, and I'm still learning about this, getting my head around it, and I'm sure many of your teams are. So definitely one checking out there as we embark on this journey of unleashing all our team's potential with AI, and we couldn't do it without you, community. So thanks a lot. That's it for me this month, and see you next month. Bye.
So he touched a little bit about Rovo and Atlassian Intelligence, and on this slide we're going to talk about a little bit of the differences between the two of them. So Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo both use AI to enhance the productivity, but they differ in focus and capability. Atlassian Intelligence optimizes some internal workflows within the Atlassian ecosystem, and it features generative AI for content creation, contextual search, task automation, etc. In contrast, Rovo, which is an add-on, it provides deeper data integration and specialized AI agents for more complex decision making. Rovo tends to integrate with various data sources like Google Drive, SharePoint. It can automate complex tasks. It can support various workflows, offers extensive third-party app integrations, and it has detailed knowledge cards for each interactive data exploration. So a question that I have for you all: what is a key difference between Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo? Does Rovo provide deeper data integration and specialized AI agents? Is Atlassian Intelligence an add-on, or does Rovo not use AI? All right, ending the poll in 3, 2, 1, boom. So as you can see, Rovo provides deeper data integration and specialized AI agents. So really quickly here, just very high level, you can see some of the differences between the two. I'm just going to highlight a couple of ones that I seem to believe are a little bit more important, or things that I just like enjoy talking about. First, so for Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo summaries, Atlassian Intelligence, as it says here, summarizes internal content. Rovo can link to other data sources, which I think is where the real power of Rovo is. So you can have these separate knowledge bases that aren't hosted within Jira Service Management or Confluence or Atlassian in general. You can pull them in from other different apps, whether it be Google Drive, SharePoint, whatever you have. I think that's a really powerful tool. Definitely enjoyed using it. And then for custom integrations, everything is integrated nowadays. Atlassian Intelligence integrates with Atlassian tools and some third-party applications, whereas Rovo has a lot more extensive integration library with third-party apps, custom apps, any sort of industry-specific tools that utilize APIs. So there's a lot of power to be had there as well. All right, I think at this point I will be turning it back over to Valerie.
So we have a few breakout sessions. Hiran, the business analyst, is going to head up the Confluence new user group. Let me launch the poll. Leland, our data analyst, will be doing Jira for existing users. And then Caleb, our project manager, who just recently got off of a cloud migration, is going to do JSM for advanced users. All right, Confluence, you're up first. How was your breakout session? What'd you talk about?
Yeah, so we added on to the meeting notes if there were a couple of PM, so showed them, hey, if you have a meeting notes and you want to start working on creating high-level features, you can ask Confluence AI to identify high-level features and then manually copy paste, create a high-level features on Jira side, and then have the BAs take over from there so they can break down the feature into multiple user stories. And then talked about action items, how you can add dates to those action items so that there is accountability. And we were just about to do automation on those action items, so with email reminders to the assignee, so that Confluence will send an email reminder to them, say, hey, you have an action item due from your previous meetings.
The one thing I like about your breakout room is you do it in a workflow. So you do literally the workflow that's like it starts with the meeting that someone has, and then you create your tickets, and then you do your automation so that the PM doesn't have to constantly remind people to do certain things.
Yep.
Y'all, I never write user stories anymore. I literally AI writes it and I tweak it. Like I adjust it based off of different things. And if the meeting notes aren't clear, and the AI responds, and I'm like, well, how did you get that user story from that? Then I know I have to go back and ask other people some questions. So think about it. Also, next up, Leland with Jira.
So we had a great discussion. Some of the things that people wanted to talk about, we mostly prompted about how some of the AI tools could eliminate certain pain points within your tasks. So we talked about being able to go in and with automated repetitive workflows, we could say, oh, let's break down particular tasks to use cases. So one of the folks who joined in, our power users of Jira, asked about showing different usability test cases. So one of the automations that we were going to go through before we switch back to the main room is being able to automatically, let's say, assign a developer or software person whenever a ticket goes to a certain area. So instead of having to wait either a week or to the end of a sprint, you'd be able to just set up a rule. So once that item is done, it can already bring somebody back up. So those are mostly what we went through and talked about some automations and some good flows.
Jira Service Management. Caleb, it's you.
We went over some of the best practices when it comes to setting up automations in Jira Service Management. Certain things like starting simple. You definitely want to slowly build up a workflow or an automation before just going into a little bit crazier complex one. I preach the importance of one, documentation, documenting Valerie's all about documentation. Documenting a workflow just in case you need to change hands or have somebody else work on it, or at least spell out to others how the automation is functioning. Documentation is very important for that. I also preach the importance of testing the automations inside of a staging environment if you have one available to you, because you think you build everything correctly and then you deploy it and next thing you know everything is deleted. So definitely make sure that you're testing in a staging environment so you can avoid having sort of issues inside of your production environment. And then one of the last things that we talked about was sort of the importance of balancing AI and the human touch when it comes to setting up automations inside of a customer support role. You want to make sure that the AI is handling more so tier one support stuff, very, very low level, easy, minor issues. When it gets more into some of the nitty gritty, complex issues, we definitely want to make sure that end users are feeling supported, make sure that they are able to get their issues resolved in a timely manner. And if they're just caught in this perpetual AI loop when it comes to solving more complex issues, that's a good way to not only just potentially lead to frustration for the end user, but then also make bigger issues happen. Like if, say, they need something fixed quickly and they can't get to a human agent to fix something quickly, and the AI isn't exactly sure how to handle it, that can cause issues for their actual work. So making sure that the virtual agents are tier one, easier stuff, humans can still come in and have an actual human connection when it comes to more complex support requests.
Yes, I love all of that. You covered all the main highlights. All right, we're wrapping up the last few moments of the course. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Boom, boom, boom. I still need my PowerPoint presentation. It is the end. We have 1 minute left. As our time comes to get to a close, let's have a mindful moment. It's nothing mystical or magical. It's just a time to pause and process the different things that we heard, the demos we watched, and all the connections we made. Think back to our main question of the day. How can we use AI to not just mimic human interaction, but genuinely enhance our collaborative efforts? We just talked about this with Caleb, like we need the people. In a direct message to me and only me, I'd like to hear from you if you feel inspired to take concrete next steps. Is there anyone that would say, Dr. Cologne, I will commit to exploring ways AI can automate my mundane task, freeing up time to collaborate and to have creative, strategic thinking moments with my team? If so, send them to me in the chat. Send me some hearts. Or would you say, hey, Dr. C, I'm ready to leverage AI capabilities to better connect with and understand my team to enhance our synergy and productivities? We didn't talk a lot about this in this course, but there is a lot of analytics that you can pull out and reporting that you can do on your team's behaviors using these platforms. And so you can really get to know the people working behind your processes. If that interests you, throw me some hearts in the chat. This is how I evolve this course throughout time. And finally, if there's anyone that would say, Valerie, I want to commit to staying curious and continuously learning about AI, maybe that Loom feature in the transcript caught your eyes. Maybe you're interested in transcribing in a different language. To elevate your collaborative efforts, making every interaction more impactful, send me some hearts in that chat. So many of you have shared today, and I thank each of you for it. We do have a special badge on the community group if you respond to the page that I will put in our course resources with any of your thoughts and insights, your favorite features. All right, everyone. I'll see you next time. Thank you for everyone for coming. Bye.
Bye.